Everyone, it's been a long time since I made my Valor video, 3 years in fact. Well, I want to make another video because now that Starbase DLC is out, it's been a couple of weeks because of some real life stuff, and I know a lot of you want to get in there and start building Starbase as soon as possible because that's why you probably Googled this or YouTube searched this video. So I'm going to get really quick into it. If you want to know anything specific past the most basics, there'll be another video called the Advanced Starbase Guide that'll come out after this. It'll be in the description or it'll be somewhere on the screen, probably over here by the fleet thing. And I want to make sure I do this as quick as possible because I know a lot of people are like, hey, I want the information as soon as I possibly can. Well, you got it. So all I ever ask for these videos is at the end, debate the idea, hit the buttons. If I earned it, I'm not going to ask for it and beg for it like a lot of people do at the start of their videos. It's not my style. So here's what we're going to do. You want to go get the Starbases up and running. You want to play it. If you've never played the game before, even the developer himself says you should take the game, play the base game, do the tutorial there, and if you feel comfortable, then you go into the Starbase DLC, do that tutorial, and go that way. If you jump in without, you're going to have a lot of issues, and you're probably not going to know where half the stuff is. You're going to be very frustrated, hate the game, and say this sucks. Please don't do that. It's very straightforward on how to get it done in certain ways. Now, I'm going to make sure a few things are covered real quick before we do. One, if you are trying to do this, you can go build a Starbase within the first seconds of the Starbase DLC. It'll even tell you your first objective, build a Starbase. I highly recommend you hold your horses, set up that game, Starbase DLC defense mode, whatever you want to call it, because he keeps renaming it. Jump in the game, and it says build a Starbase. Stop. Just stop. Okay? And you might want to go do some other things first, like make a little bit of money. I'm not going to tell you exactly what you specifically should do for what kind of gamer you are, but I will tell you, for my first time, before I started building stuff, I got 300,000 credits. That is a lot. It took me about 8 hours to 10 hours to get that amount of money because I was doing some various things. I was remembering how to play the game again. If you're a brand new player, it's not going to hurt. Past that, you can start right away, but you're going to have like 10, 15,000 credits. A turret with a decent weapon, maybe a few of them, is going to cost you, with the upgrades to make sure they work, we're talking like, in my approximation, $4,000 to $8,000. You have 2 turrets, you have a Starbase, you will lose your stuff quickly, especially if you don't know how threat works, which I will teach you in today's video, okay? But if you want to keep going, no problem. Let's assume you got the amount of money you want, and we're going to go in from there, okay? Now, first thing first, like I always do, this video will be busted up into sections of chapters on YouTube, okay? That way you can find what you need really, really easily. It'll be down below in the description, exactly every single chapter. It'll also be on your timeline, every single chapter. And if you want to skip stuff, no problem, okay? That's all I have. I want to make sure I did it quick. And in behind, I'll move my camera in a minute, and which I think is have a little focus issue. Is it a focus issue? A little bit of a focus issue. But I want to make sure we get this done for you as quick as possible. I will be your tutorial guide to a degree. If you're like, I want to know how to make billions in dollars, which is very possible in this game, wait for the Starbase Advanced Guide. If you're like, I can do the tutorial, I'm having issues, I've died, I've lost my stuff, this might be the guide for you. If you've never played the game before, I already told you, please go to the other one. Past that, we're going to go. I'm going to do a quick cut, and then we're going to go into the next piece, okay? 1 second. A few things you should know and a few things that are going to help you out. Right off the bat, I'm going to shrink down my camera because, well, we don't have time for that. But I want to make sure I just did this right. So right up here. So we're going to go up into our little base. And yes, this is my system. I know someone's going to see it. This is most of it behind my head. There's some more. It's just my test system. I started here. I drained out every single asteroid. And I want to make sure I knew most about this before I got going. I've got 75 hours on this playthrough. So I wanted to make sure I came off with I know what I'm doing a little bit in about 200 hours in Valor. So I've not played a little, I've not played a lot. I'm in the middle, and I think that's the best point to give you guys a little knowledge of what's going on. So what we're going to do is we're going to go to a new system, and we're going to go to set up everything from setup. As if you were brand new, you had a little bit of money behind you, you don't have everything, you have an okay ship, you have a little bit of resources, a few weapons, and you're ready to go. Okay? Now what I'm going to do is make sure you know a few things before you do it, because you need to. And if you're going to say, I don't need that, yes, you do. Starbase stuff is like building a house. You can't just go there with a hammer and a saw and a pickup truck and say, I can do it. Oh, you might. It's going to be shitty, but you can do it, okay? So number one is you have to figure out how to find those asteroids that you want to mine. And as you can see, if I scroll over, I know what they are. So I'm going to do a little cut quick. We're going to go over to a system that I've picked out for this. We're going to scan it together, and we're going to find out what's there and see what you want to do, okay? Here we go. We can do a cut quick. The first part of this probably should be for this menu anyway. This is the map of the game, and all you do is press tab to get out. Oh, sorry. M to get out here, and you're going to find out what you want. Now, one thing I do highly recommend, while you're making your money before you decide to go build your first Starbase, because even if you play the tutorial and build it right off the bat, you're going to have no money, you're going to have no resources, you're going to have no defenses, and the attacks scale extremely quickly if you're not dealing with threat the right way, which I will teach you how to do. So what you want to do is get an asteroid scanner and start scanning planets. Do whatever you want, or to start planets, asteroids in systems. The one thing I'll tell you that'll help you a lot, if you can, the more you scan, the better idea you'll have where you want to build. If you build in the first system you're in, you're going to hope to God the game gave you a system with everything you need. It might have, it might not have. So what I would say is look around for systems, even if you've never been there. I've never been here. It says output. Let's see if you have this scanner range. See this bubble right here, the grayer bubble? That gives me some basic ideas of the system, even though I've never been there. Like this planet in the middle, or this system in the middle, is medium. Very low population, very low, very mineral poor, solar output very low. The only reason I'm showing you this, you probably don't want to build, after having done it myself, in a medium system or below. Yes, they're very small. Yes, they're very defensible, but they also have very few resources. They have very few asteroids. They have very few asteroid fields. They have one Starbase. It can be very, very limiting. There's ways around giant systems to make sure you don't have to fly everywhere all the damn time. And even if you do, it's really not that bad. You can get around it. Please make sure while you're doing your grind for money, start dipping into systems and scouting around. If you 100% explore a system, you might find another Starbase, more asteroids to research, or explore and prospect, finding better minerals. And I'm going to show you how in a second how to do that, okay? So get this done, get it to your mind, start looking around. My starting area is, I think my starting system was right here, this system right here. And I flew around all this other stuff. I settled here. I a little bit regret it in retrospect, and that's why I'm telling you that in advance, okay? I'm gonna do a little cut, and we're gonna start doing exactly how. We're gonna jump to one of these systems and figure out what we wanna say, okay? Give me 1 minute. Oh, one thing I didn't forget, even though I have to turn the camera back on for this one, you do not want a dark system. See how it says right here, pitch black at the very top of that little menu? That you do not want your first system to be in a pitch black unless you're prepared for it. It has more cost to set up, meaning your power cannot come from solar, which is the cheapest. It takes one construction component, one, to make a solar output, solar array to draw in energy. If you build in a pitch black, it takes two construction components and 20 energy cells, and then you have to work in the levels. It's just a huge pain in the butt. Please don't do that to yourself. It will save you a lot of time and effort. Now, if your second, third, and fourth system want to be pitch blacks, you'll have all the technology unlocked you want, the stuff you need. You will feel a lot better, okay? If that, go for it. I just want to make sure I said that. Let's go to our first system and see what we're going to do. Like I said before, I chose the system I think will work for you. One, you might want to make sure that one, it's not pitch black. Notice how the top tooltip doesn't say pitch black? Congratulations, you got the first part down. Number two, size. Medium. It is a medium-sized system. There are large, I think there's huge systems. Past that, the far right side of your screen, for me it's here, for you it's there. It says stations discovered 2. There's 2 civilian stations here to buy stuff from. Number 2 after that is asteroid fields discovered. There's no asteroid fields for you to mine in the system, unfortunately. Debris fields discovered 4. You can get salvage from them. They regenerate over time. Not all the time, but there's some kind of mechanic when they regenerate, okay? Let's show you the system. Here we are with tab. I am right here. There's another civilian station down there. And yes, my head is in the way, but it's okay. There's one roid up here. You can basically see gray ore and iron. Down here is gray ore and volatiles. There's nothing else behind me except for a little piece you can't see. That doesn't matter. It's not mineable. There's a debris field here. Gray ore nickel, gray ore silver, gray ore iron ice, gray ore iron silver organic matter, gray ore silicon, gray ore lithium, which is really nice on organic matter. You got the stations, the mercenary hideout, gray ore iron ice, and then you got gray ore and silicon. The reason I read all that out, the only way you can see that is this item here. It is called a asteroid analyzer. It's right behind my head. I'm going to show you where it is on the ship. If you go to your hangar and you go to stats, and you can basically see behind me, if you go down, there are these items here. You will pick them up. They look like a little computer with different kind of screens. You are looking for the asteroid one. It's ground for the mud of the ground as you dig through, or the rock, whatever you want to insert, a thing that works for you here. It installs asteroid analyzer, and when you mine loot in asteroid belts, asteroid rushes, or just random rocks floating around that you're allowed to mine, this computer will give you more output. It does not affect your star bases, unfortunately. There's other things that affect your star bases, and when they pull out of the asteroid, because you can actually get different things from the ores inside of them. Besides, like if there's lithium, like this one I'm going to show you here. Let's say this one here is gray ore, iron, silver, and organic matter. The gray ore is a grab bag. When you mine it and then you refine it, you will get random items. Like the ores work like this: gray ore, red ore, green ore. It goes up the scale. Gray ore is like your common. Red ore is your uncommon. Green ore is your rare and super rare. So you can get good things out of gray ore once in a very great while with very high geology, and I'll show you how. But I want to make sure you know, to scan all these asteroids, what you need is a ship that can run this stuff, and when you're flying around, you have to hit the button for it. So if you go to your hangar, you'll see that the scanner has a associated number, which you can change. Click on it, change key, assign whatever you want. 8. For me, let's make it 7 right now. Change key, 7. It is now 7. Change it on the fly, whatever you want. However, when you're flying around, look right above my head, right here. If you hit 7, it goes away. If I go up to an asteroid and click on it, I will not see anything. So hit 7 at all times, unless your power that you'll see over here, the blue bar, that dark blue bar is your power. If your power is in red and when that thing is on, you can turn it on with the key and just see it. If you're in combat and the little menu keeps, I'm gonna show you what I mean. Let's go here. But if you're in combat and you're like, oh man, I'm always getting this damn menu in my way, I can't see it. Like, see this little menu right here on the top of the screen? I think he changed it, because what happened was it used to be under your mouse cursor and it was annoying people. Now it's at the top of your screen, because if not, it would cover your ship and you wouldn't be able to fight. Sorry, I just got to listen for 5 seconds. You think they learned? Good, they learned. So this menu right here, if you want to have it go away, press 7. Notice how nothing pops up? Your asteroid scanner is an active item. I'm saying that because I saw many people typing in the Discord or asking me in channels going, I have the scanner, it doesn't work. What do I do? You turn it on. Let's go to the next tip. Now, you got to figure out what you want to build and where. And it's a very good idea having a basic idea before you put down your first starbase. Like why go to the forest and start chopping down random trees when someone goes, I only buy cherry and oak, and you're like, well, I got this pine, and they're like, no. And you're like, oh man, I'm really tired. I don't have any energy left, and I have no money, and I can't feed myself. Same kind of principle. Now, one thing you're going to need, this system, as far as I'm aware, has no iron inside the stations. Maybe that one does down there. So we're going to need iron right off the bat. So I'm going to look for something that has iron straight up, not just ore. Like this one right here has iron, 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 iron down there between the two stations. I like that a lot. Plus, there's a lot of this gray. The gray parts versus the darker gray are impassable walls. If I put my star base in here, they can only come in this way and this way. They cannot get to me any other way. I think that's a very good spot for our first base, don't you? Let's go over there. I'll see you in a second. All right, we're on our first rock. I went to the other star base right down here, and I found out, you can move this by the way. I went here and I found out they have everything I want for a startup area. They have iron, they have energy cells, I believe they have microcomputers, or microchips rather. And this asteroid right here has iron inside of it. It has ice, it has gray ore. This one has gray ore and silicon. We can be able to make microchips very easy between the two of them. And there's some merc hideout, which I'll explain what that works for as well, a debris field. I was hoping there'd be one asteroid field in the area, so I'll show you how to do that, but I'll show you in another system how that works. But here's what's going on. If you notice right here, these the lighter gray on top of the darker gray, we can't go through this. If I try to go through, there's one right here. I can't go through this. I will stop. The enemy can't go through it too. Okay? So what you're going to do, if you want to, is make choke points. Choke points are awesome. As you know, instead of having to defend every direction at once, on this asteroid, we have to defend right here and right here. It's very small to see, but I'll put it right here and right here. These two, that's it. They can't come in any other way. Now, I would not put your entire industry in here and everything else. I would say your mining base to start off with, isn't bad. If you're like, I don't give a crap, I want to fight them, hey, go for it. You're more than welcome to cover, like, 3 turrets up north, 3 turrets up south. The turrets on either side will probably cover you, and I'll show you that setup in a minute, but I want to make sure you knew about this. So what you're going to do is put up a basic base. And all you have to do is go to your construction module, which will be installed in your ship. One thing I have to tell you, okay, please, if your module is on your starter ship, it has a +5 on it, so you have this, let's see, knowledge, it'll say construction right here. This stat will probably be like a 0, and it'll be +5, okay? That lets you build the most starter gear. If you try to build with your new ship and you don't have any construction skill, which you get by building buildings like turrets and starbases and sensor towers and power plants and solar panels, if you don't build those, you will have no ability, and that directly makes your turret, when it come out, be level 1 or 0, and you have to level it up before you can put better gear in it. So you have to defend it and sit on it more. I'm telling you that because I needed to know that, and it took me a while to find it when I first started playing the game. So for now, I'm where I want to be. I'm going to put down a mining station. This is the most basic one. If you see right here, see how it says at the very bottom of the tooltip, under where it says orange, requires big asteroid. This is a big asteroid. However, it also says requires construction 5. If your starter ship that gives +5 construction is not in your possession, you will not be able to build this. You'll be very frustrated, go, I don't understand why it's not working, and you'll be pissed off. I know this because I saw people getting pissed off and going, this game is broken, when they switched out as soon as they could. So put your little mining base wherever you want is fine. I'm gonna put it up here in the corner. Boop. Now, you might notice I have no repair beams on this ship. So what I'm gonna do is press the Y key, Y, this is default. After I exit this menu, hit Y, it targets. I'm gonna put my drones on it, let them build it while I'm talking to you. Why do you do that? Well, it makes things a little better. Now, real quick, you saw that, you might have seen this icon appear, and you have to know what this does. Station defense, threat level, no threat, no signs of attack for now. Intel prediction chance IPC is moderate. Next number attack for this one system, not my entire empire, is 1. It'll be the first attack. If you get 20 levels of attack, you get an achievement in any one system if you can defend off all 20 waves. It might be worth it to you doing that, okay? Now I'm going to build this up, and we'll go to the next tip to do it because I want to make sure we have little cuts, okay? This is going to be selecting the asteroid. The next one is building the asteroid. Give me a second. Well, what we're going to do is we're going to build this thing up, and I want to make sure there was a cut between it. So when you get to your, I'm not even going to put power, started mining yet, but I am going to draw my drones back in and put a few things down. This thing needs a power plant. For you, it might be something like this. You might want to build a solar array, which cannot work here. How it says here at the very top of your screen, requires clear space. If I put it out there, I can. If I put it inside the asteroid, I can't. It'd be like putting up a solar panel inside your living room. It needs to be on the roof, right? It needs to be outside. Same principle. I'm going to build something different because I want to make it a little easier on myself, is the power plant. 2 construction components, 20 energy cells. I'll put it right next to it, but I'm going to put it not right there. Maybe I will put it there. Let me see something. If I cancel, and I back up a little bit, and I put down a power plant, where do we go? Right here. Everything under the grid, under that big giant circle, can share power at the power station. So putting it up here, I'd be able to put turrets out here if I wanted to. I don't think I want to. So instead I'm going to put it down here a little bit better. So it's covering both as much as can be. Do that one. Cancel with escape. Hit Y. Shift N sends your drones, if you have repair drones, towards it. If not, just hit them with the repair beams, it'll work. All right. There's another way to do it, and I'll show you that later on. But basically, you put down a turret with a simple repair beam in it. It'll shoot everything in range. And I think we should do that now because I know a lot of you are going to be like, well, I want the easiest way possible, and this isn't one of the easier ways possible. So one thing I'm going to do is go to this power plant. I'm going to set it up for 5 seconds. All you're going to do is there's 2 pieces: the power generation and storage, and the sharing. Sharing 20% of energy storage. Level 2 is 40% of the storage of the energy storage. See where this is going? The reason I want you to be careful with this button costs a lot. We just pressed 2,000 and 4,000. We just spent $6,000 to make this power plant work. Think of putting the power lines from the power plant. When you're starting with 15,000 credits, that's expensive. That's why I want to tell you and caution you many times this video. Please consider a couple $100,000, maybe $100,000 if you're really a stickler for watching your costs. I did 300 because I'm not a stickler. All right, we're gonna put these down a little bit. So what we're gonna do, we're gonna block this area a little bit with light turrets. We're gonna put one right up here, like this, and then we're gonna put 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now, if you want to make these very, very non-conformist to, of course, we're on a grid right now. See what it says snap to grid? This is automatically enabled. If you want to make it very wherever the hell you want, turn that off, okay? Now we're gonna make it easy on ourselves. We're gonna press Y, dump up our drones, take our drones back with N, press V to manage, go to internal modules, and I think since it's tech level 9, now mine start out with higher traits, and I know yours aren't going to. This directly corresponds to your builder level as well as your construction level, and I think, sorry, the builder level and the construction level, the same thing, as well as your building module level, sorry, and your construction level. Meaning, I think I said that all wrong. Here, the construction level matters first, then your builder module on top of that work together. Those are the only two that matter. Everything else doesn't matter. So, what do we do with it? We go here, we're going to upgrade once, then we're going to go to this, and we're going to go to a improved repair beam. The reason I did one level of that is it gives it better aim, better weapon cooling, and max heat. I want the ability to do repair beams. Now this is, if you look at the bottom down there at the tooltip, see what the blue number is, 162 energy cost. Then it goes heat, then tech level 10, item level 16. Okay, tech level matters in this. This is level 11. This is level 10 tech level. I can put this in. If I didn't do that first level of upgrade, this would not go in. So you put it in, I give it some range, and notice how it's starting to build my turrets for me. It's not perfect, but if you want to get a lot of them up and teching, because one thing you should know right off the bat, every single structure in this game you put down, and I mean everything, has its own level of experience. And that level starts ticking as soon as you put it down. However, this level as well starts ticking. Station defense. When that level reaches 100%, a pirate attack will trigger. You can bribe them or you can fight them. And sometimes you may not be ready to fight them. So be prepared for it. Having this guy start building for you while you're doing it might be very helpful. So we're gonna let him do that while I just build all the turrets. I'm not repairing any of the turrets. It's gonna be a good way to be lazy. We're gonna go to our turret. We're gonna do a little upgrade. I would do a personal upgrade. You don't have to do this. I would highly recommend you figure out what works for you. However, right off the bat, the weapon turret tech level is 9 in the center of your screen, okay? You're gonna add a weapon, and it's gonna be something though, at the very top, I believe, is where the cheap weapons are. Tech level 1, tech level 2, a medium laser is tech level 3. You can put all these in. I'm not going to because I need some, for what I'm dealing with, the system level will actually correspondingly change with your level, as well as how much you do in it. So the more you junk into a system, like the more turrets, the more structures, the more resources you mine, the more stargates you put up, all this kind of stuff will slowly make the system better, which means the challenge isn't easy. You can't just go to the starter systems and make trillions and never leave. I'm kind of glad the developer did that. I would do whatever you think is appropriate for your stuff. Just read. All you gotta do is tech level and what your tech level is here. If your tech level here is higher than this number, you can't put it in. That's all there is to it. But the reason I'm going to show you this is I get 8 trait points. You'll be there very quickly. This pre-plan. Upgrade once. I'm going to add in a medium laser beam. I love laser beams. They're tech level 10. So they require 1 tick of upgrade, right? And then I'm going to add in one other thing. It's going to be called a beam point defense laser beam. Okay, and I'm going to give 3 ticks to this. Now, you don't have to do that on yours. You can do what you might not have that many points to do. I would watch very carefully. Hull is very important. Weapon damage is also important. But one thing you can do, notice how I put those points in, right-click them right back out. You can decide however you want to put them in and take them right back out on the fly. I think during combat, you might not be able to take them out. I think. I don't 100% know. I'll check out to make sure by the end of the video. But that lets you have a little more control over it. I'm going to do one. See how it says hull points 17 to 75? I'm going to upgrade once. Watch the hull points. 1930. Money directly buys you more armor. Okay. Now what I'm doing is taking 1 level of each, because that right there with that 1 level upgrade gives me hull points 2,400. 5,000 hit points. It now has better hull. It has better armor. It can self-repair. 0.6% of all of its hit points per 5 seconds. We go back to the weapon. You can scroll over each one and see exactly how it has changed. Notice how it says 260 range. Now the range is 130. You can directly see how these are upgrading exactly. Now the DPS on this is 35. Let's take all this out. Now the DPS is 71. You get a lot Get a lot for it. You can determine what you want. I like extreme range. I would say probably a good combo, it would be something like that for someone who's getting attacked a lot. If you're not getting attacked a lot and you want to kill the small stuff, something like this. It's just a small amount to let you get forward. I'm going to upgrade the rest of the turrets quick off, and we're going to go to the next off screen, and we're going to do the next part of it, okay? Real quick, I want to make sure you understand, turrets are not something you can drive over. Even though we're in space, the way it works is 2D. So if you see a turret in front of you, you are stopped. You will not be able to go through it, and it can very quickly hem you in. Be careful how you put your stuff down. If you're inside here and you put down a bunch of turrets here, you put a bunch of turrets here, and you can't get out, the only way to get out is to warp out. Do not do that to yourself. Please don't do that to yourself. Number 2, let's go to the next part of this. I really want to put this on another section, I'm sorry, or another tip for 1 second. Okay, so here's how this works. The power plant or the solar array, whatever you build for power, that is in range your mining station. As long as you have it under management for power hub, the power that's in this thing, minus 2400, is being shared. 60% of that is being shared. 1440 is being shared outwards. As you can see, actually you might not be able to see it, this mining station is going to need more. So what we're going to do, now that this thing is producing a lot, I'm going to pump up the power. No, I'm not. I have 3 points left over. I'm gonna let it be a little bit more. If I put directly into the battery, the amount it shares out becomes directly bigger. This is 3 points for energy generation, and then 1 for 24% of the entire amount. You always get this one after 3 points, either anything in here. If you try to cheese ball it and go, oh, I'm just gonna take this out, and it's not gonna matter, it automatically turns off. See, just do it. Don't mess around with it. Just get it done. Now, do you need to have more armor on these things? Probably it won't hurt. I put 1 point right. If I only put 1 point in, I always put 1 point of HP regeneration. Then I go down past this, because unless there's a repair beam within range of it at all times, I wouldn't play games with not letting it be repaired. Now, if it's getting attacked all the time, it won't matter. You have to defend your stuff. You can't hope the enemy is not going to see it. They beeline right towards it. Now, everything here I put down also has an upkeep cost. But for the refining array, actually, yeah, I showed you power. Let's show you how this works together. The mining right now, you can see everything in the asteroid, the resources. Gray ore, iron, and ice. This is going to be upgraded. Now, we have 7 points here. I don't know why it's 7 when I have 8, but we'll work on it. Now, right when I told you this, the administration tab on every single structure will show you the exactly station aggro chance per minute it generates. If you look at the very top, we're at 20%. Okay? I know it said you can't see it perfectly because my face is here, but it's this unlikely 20% chance until just an attack is not expected anytime soon. The probable attack strength is assault, coordinated strike, and moderate enemy strength for this system, not your empire. Okay? Watch this. The minute you put down your first structure, every minute, this will tick up based upon 2 factors. Aggro. Stations that mine, build, or generate power, or whatever, everything that is in the turret will generate aggro. However, let's go hit this turret over here. Administration, station aggro, 0.8 attack chance per minute. Wait a minute. That's the other direction. You're right, it is. So the amount of turrets you directly put down will actually influence the attack, how quickly that attack happens. There's one module, and I'm going to show it to you in this video, on how to completely pretty much turn off attacks per system. But there's a cost to it every hour that you might not want to pay. So the way the game is trying to make it, if you defend your stuff, the pirates go, well, that's not an easy mark. I mean, I could attack a mining station with 1 turret, but a mining station with 10 turrets? I'm not doing that. Not anytime soon, not without a lot of my buddies. It's the same principle, okay? So what's going to happen here, we're going to take the mining station, we're going to go to it, we need iron, all right? Iron's the building block of all the construction modules. So we're going to change from iron ore, or gray ore, to iron. We're also going to, since we have these 7 points, we're going to put them in here. Now, if you notice, the energy cost is right here, 100. I'm going to put in a lot of points. Now it's 150, 200, 250, 300, 350. This thing doesn't even generate that much. How is it still working? Well, the power plant is feeding it. Now this one's done, 5 out of 5 production speed, 100% increase in production. Notice that thing's moving very fast. Now my production time is 10 seconds in geology 16. Let's hit upgrade once. Now it's 9.1 seconds, geology 18. Geology 20 in 8 seconds. Let's hit it again. 6.7 seconds, 22 geology. Geology directly affects ore when it comes out, gray ore, red ore, or green ore. It does not affect your iron, your ice, or anything else. So the way I would highly recommend you do it, if you can, is mine out what you need first. When you get to the point where you don't want it anymore or can't get it anymore easily, and you have what you need, switch to the ore, upgrade the thing massively, and then do this. Production yield at the very bottom says energy cost 500. We have 350. Let's see what can we do it. Oh look, we can. Now we're getting 2 iron per pole. Now one thing I want to make sure you realize, see how it says 2399, and now it says 2398. We got 2 iron though. Where did that extra iron come from? The ether. If you can pull this off right off the bat, it's worth it every time. It works on ore, it works on the main mineral, whatever you're mining out of the asteroid, as soon as you start it. However, it can also get better. See how it says mining booster? We're gonna put a thermal regulator in there. Now we're getting, if we had any thermal regulators in the system, that would be great. 1 minute. We have to take thermal regulators. Can I get them out of here? I actually don't know if I can. I might be out of them actually. I'm out of them? Can I craft them? I can't craft them. All right, I have to go get some. But a thermal regulator is a booster. It's part of the tutorial. What will happen is the thermal regulator, even though it's on, and feel free to leave this on like this, it says thermal regulator. If you put it in your global storage, resource storage, they'll be in your global resource storage, compared to having you fly around every single mining base you own all time, try and upgrade it and dump all these thermal regulators in there for storage. Thank God for that. Thank you, developer, for making quality of life, to be honest. So make a lot of them. Make hundreds of them when you have a chance. Dump them in your global storage, and all of your bases that have thermal regulators being picked will take this out and add +1 at all times. It's absolute. There's no point it's not worth it. Okay, as long as you're mining 2 of anything with this on and this production yield +1, put that thermal regulator in there and get extra, get paid. Okay. Now all of this, the amount of power is because that power plant was there. Solar can do it, but you'll need a lot of solar plants, and every single power plant, my power plant is telling me it gives 1% attack chance, meaning 2 turrets to nullify that 1%, because it's 1.6% for 2 turrets, 0.8% each time. Okay. The mining base is 2%. It needs 3 turrets to nullify it. I don't think I've seen anything over 2% so far. Even the biggest factories, the Stargates, whatever, it's just that. I just want to make sure you knew about it so you can prepare for it. Okay, let's move on to the next piece. Another piece to make sure before I forget, one thing you might want to know about is the F1 key. The F1 key will bring up all of this stuff to help you during your gameplay. The F1 key is literally every control. You might be like, I don't know where that is. Like, let's say I want to take down my my fleet window. It's Z. A lot of people are like, you might hit it by accident. Go, where to go? I don't know where to, I need it. Okay, hit F1. It's on there. It's literally on there under other. Every control you need that's important pretty much is right in here. Okay. Now, one thing you might want to know, because not only with that, when you build turrets, line of sight does matter. Even though they could be up the Z axis, they don't do that in this game. No offense, the game's not bad for it. So if I go here and I have all of these turrets, I put a turret right here where my cursor is, where my ship is, and you see these turrets, and I have another thing I want to shoot here, I can't shoot through my turrets. I can shoot between my turrets. I can shoot around my turrets, maybe with like missiles, but I cannot go through them. Like, look, I cannot go through these things no matter what I do. I can try all I want. I cannot get through it. Please remember that. You can make, I don't want to say, tower defense too much, but you can make something similar to it to funnel your enemies in. However, there's one problem with that. And that problem is that your allies or your customers will come here. So if I put this is a mining station, if I put a small station right here, the computer will have a big problem sending up ships, and they're going to want to go to your stations. One, your station's going to open up your open market where you buy and sell items. It's also going to let them repair in system. For some reason, they all come in your system and they go, hey, I should repair here. I'm going to pay you some money to do so. And you're like, yeah, make sure you have a very wide way in. If you're on the highway or freeway or whatever massive motor thing is in your country, and there's no exit to get off to your gas station that you own, they might not show up. They're not going to go all the way down to the next exit, get off, come all the way back. They're going to go what's close. Same principle applies here. Use it to your advantage. Have farther out defenses. You can still have clusters of defenses to make sure you're okay, but make sure your defenses don't restrict it so much because the pirates, they're going to ram into the turrets most of the time. They won't really dive bomb your defenses and go past them towards star bases. So far, the AI might change after this video's been made. My other video, 3 years old, is still getting questions of things that have changed since, and I'm like, well, that changed since, I didn't know. And they go, why don't you change the video? I'm like, I can't. I don't even have the source videos anymore. So let's go on to the next piece. All right, the next part we're going to cover is basically having your central hub. Before you put down all these mining bases and everything else, you're going to want to know one thing. There is a way to tie them all together so you don't have to fly to each station over and over and over again and pull out all the minerals, go back to the central area, dump it all in, build it all together, and drive yourself crazy. The developer does know that. He's been pretty good about having the resource storage and the weapon storage, or equipment and weapon storage, global. So let's say I buy a medium laser and I'm here. Well, I buy a medium laser here and I have a small ship, but I want to keep my weapons. I can put them in my what's called my global stash and make sure I can have access to them, which is very nice. It makes the game not become a real annoyance where most of the playtime would be you going, where's that item? I have to go fly and get it. Oh man, that sucks. Over and over and over. You still have to find some items. You're not gonna have everything you need all the times, but it's nice to be able to put some weapons in storage, get to a smaller ship, go around, mess around, do whatever you need, end up where you're gonna end up and go, I don't have to go all the way back 50 systems earlier to go get my weapons I need. Yeah, if you leave the whole ship together, yeah, you have to go get the ship, but there's ways around that too. So anyway, what we're gonna do is we're gonna tie it all together. We're gonna put up a central station that'll be our central production hub for a while, and I'm gonna make sure you know how to do it. So all you gotta do, go to the build menu. We're gonna put up I would say for you, put up a small station because it requires like construction like 1 or something like that. Medium stations are going to be construction 16. It's not going to be long for you to get there. If you're building in one system and sticking around while you build up more and all your turrets are blowing up pirates and you're mining and producing and selling and all this other crap, you will have a constant trickle of experience going into your construction skill, okay? I'm going to put down a medium. You should probably put down a small, unless you can put down a medium, and it's not going to break the bank. I'm going to put one right here between these 2 asteroids in the dead center. It's going to cut this area off a little bit. Boop. I'm going to select it with that, and I'm going to go like this with my drones. Let my drones build it up. Now, the reason for this isn't because, oh, look, it looks cool. It does look cool, but like it's not the main reason. The main reason is this. We're going to go into it under administration. You can see it takes 1% attack chance per minute increase. We're sitting here right now, and I know you can't really see it perfectly with my head. I'm going to move my head for the rest of this video to the left because I know most of you that are watching this probably don't need to see my money or my energy or that kind of stuff. I've already shown you pretty much. So what's going to happen is this is 1% attack chance per minute right here, as in to probability of attack right now for this system is 51.4%. Now it just went up 52.4%. It went up a whole 1%. Now we can decrease this by a number of turrets. This station right here, if I put down 2 turrets, will be basically nullified by how much. I'm going to show you why, though, I built this in a second. There's a few reasons. One, under administration, it is costing me per hour $360. Okay. The sector upkeep per hour for all of my stuff is $7,700. Okay. That, if you want to know, hey, what's all my stuff? What's going on? Now that guy right now, right next to me, I'm glad he did that. That merchant pulled up and he bought some stuff. You look at the bottom right corner, it says I just received $99.93 for a station for repairs. Now, some people can come to this station and repair themselves and give you money. They will also buy items if you put in what's called the market. It's going to be part of the tutorial. I'm showing you a different spot. So first things first, we're going to put up a cargo manager. The cargo manager takes a prefab unit, build it, and I'm going to make this my #1 cargo link area. I'm going to leave this alone, and this station will access cargo of link stations when consuming or storing items. So right now, it's there, it's ready to go, but there's nothing going on. I'm going to show you what I'm doing with all that, because you should do this. It'll make your life, the earlier you do it and start linking every system, you'll come, or every station rather, in your system, you will save a lot of time. Now you might see all the yellow X's, that just means our buildings are upgrading over time. So this mining station right here is mining. It's not refining yet. I'm going to make it refine, but I think there's a better place to refine into, and I want to show you that because early on, the trait points to get this set up will take away from your refining capacity, and you should know that early on. You can put up a small station and put a refinery on that, I think. And it might be a small factory. It's one of the two. I'll find out very soon for you. Anyway, so what we need here is we need to put the cargo manager together. Now it has a cargo manager. However, we're not done. You have to now choose link, and you're going to link it to your medium station, or in your case, small station. Make sure you might want to rename your stations on the administrative panel to know which one's doing what if you're having weird links. However, it all should probably just link to your central web, and that station should be absolutely defended. And we're going to in a second. I'm here right next to it. That's why I'm not putting up the turrets yet. So now it's linked, and it'll start sending all of this ore here, because once you do it, you get this. I have gray ore and iron, right? Gray ore, iron, gray ore, iron. Let's go back. Actually, there's one more point we can put into, I guess. We can put into... let's give this thing a little bit of repairing capability just in case. Now, we will have a point where we upgrade all our stuff. For now, it's okay. The stuff I put in there, it should stop any attack. I want this attack to go off for this video, so I'm not going to decrease it. So under here, we have the cargo manager, and the storage here. Notice how it has gray iron and iron, and we didn't move anything over. It is now part of a network. However, there is one downside to this. If I have that mining station blown to bits, okay, because of the way the network links, there's a chance the stuff will pop out. I'm not exactly sure the actual relationships between everything else, but the mining station that pulls all this stuff up will keep it inside of it. If I put a refinery in this outpost or the one next door or whatever and start refining, the end result, let's say the refinery, will keep the minerals, even though it won't show you where they are. Do not let your stations be blown up is what this comes down to. Okay, you want a basic guide? You got it. That's what's going on. Do not let your stations be blown up. Do not ignore them. Do not put one turret on one side and go, oh, I can't defend the other. Turrets can't shoot through your own stations. Make sure they're defended, okay? So I'm going to go, let's see, I think the next part is, yeah. Okay, so threat level. What we're going to do, I'm going to show this to you, but I'm going to turn mine off, okay? For internal module, there's another one on. It's called diplomacy, okay? It needs a prefab unit. The diplomacy module pops up here and has peace protocol. As you can see, 12.5% chance of applying a -5 attack imminence each minute. Mine is at 56%, okay? If I upgrade this thing, so there will be a chance that it'll knock off down to 51.4 by one tick. Every single minute this does it. Every single minute it rolls a check with a 12% success chance. I put more money into it, $2,000 becomes 25% chance. $4,000 extra becomes 37% chance. $8,000, 50% chance. That's a coin flip every minute. If any of you know odds, flipping a coin every minute for 60 minutes means you're almost never going to get attacked. When it doesn't remove 1%, it removes 5. You're never going to be attacked. This playthrough is 75 hours long. I put this in my main capital system, maxed it out, turned it on. I have not had an attack in 50 hours in that system because I didn't want to. I'm like, it's got diplomacy. It's like, knock it off. However, you have to remember there's a cost to it. $3,000 per hour go out the window. So I'm never ever paying the pirates their main, $25, $30, $50,000 an hour for rolling the dice, but I'm throwing $3,000 per hour all the time. So it takes money to make money type deal. Okay, I'm going to turn mine off and let it go for now. I'm going to let them build this up. We're at 57%, and I'm going to put some turrets down off screen a second to make sure this thing isn't just floating in the breeze, wanting to get attacked. I do believe it would be nice to see some turrets on them internally, but that's all right. I'll be right back. All right, we're back for this part. I want to make sure you understand, after what I said last time, or a few seconds ago, there should be a central processing area. And that area, I've made this area not perfect, but it is down by the civilian station. There's 2 civilian stations here in this area. All my other areas are mining, and they have cargo links here, here, and here to send the minerals to this medium station right next to me. You can see it right there. Now, to make sure you have it working, here's what I recommend you do. You go to your cargo manager, cargo link central hub. This station is acting as a central hub for cargo links and may not set one itself. Link other stations with this one so they share the same inventory when you're storing or consuming items. That's exactly what we want. So you put this up and you don't have to do anything. You just let it sit there. And maybe if you want to, you can rename it by going to, I think, admin, and you can rename it to whatever you want right there. But the main thing you want to do is send all of your other stations to this one. That's why I told you up front, you might want to not put down all your mining bases and then drop this down, because then you're going to go back to all your mining bases. But there's a reason to go back, because as you can tell, everywhere we're going, all of our buildings over time, all our turrets, if you look at the turret right here, this number is 27. This number is slowly accruing experience. When a turret kills something, like a pirate or a marauder, see how it just went up? It passively gains experience over time, and when it does in combat, it does more experience. So the more you're in system, the more stuff will go down, and the more things will increase in experience and level up very fast. Notice how it has 2 trait points. I started my turrets with 8. So we've had 2 trait points since I built it, and I didn't really do anything. All I did was go around and build some of the mining stations. So right now you want to have everything in your central area, and the reason being is there's going to be other factories you have to build in a chain depending on what you want to do. That's going to be the focus of this one, and that is there's 4 different stations. There's the medium station, the factory, the laboratory, and the agri station. All of them work in conjunction to make a production chain you want. And I'm going to make sure you know exactly how that works. Now, right now on your screen, I'm going to show you this, and I think my face might be in the wrong spot. So I'm going to move it over here. This is going to be bright. I apologize. Actually, let me see if I can dark mode this for you. I can kind of dark mode it for you. Here we go. Main monitor capture. All right. This is dark, and I'm sorry in advance. I'm going to give you this link down below in the description for this spreadsheet to make sure you can see this spreadsheet itself. This is on the forums or the Discord for Star Valor. It's linked in the help channel. That way you can find it and figure out what you need. Now, what we're looking for, I'm going to undark mode this a minute. I apologize. It's going to be everything that's black will be white. Everything white will be black. Be ready for it. I'm sorry. Okay, so what we're looking for is the workshop, the agri station, the laboratory, and the factory. The workshop is just a shop that goes in the small station or medium station, okay? So that's what that means. I know there was a little confusion on that from some people when I was explaining this video before I wrote it down, and I want to make sure people understood that. The agri station produces everything plant-related organic matter: coffee, wine, animal meat, fruits, veggies, and organics. Now, what I'm going to do, instead of explaining every little bit here, I'm going to show you, we're going to do a chain. And I've already picked out the chain I want, which is microchips. Microchips require synthetic fibers, silicon, and energy cells, okay? Now, this is color-coded to be like the workshop can make the microchips. However, synthetic fibers come from the laboratory. Synthetic fibers, right down here, require 2 iron and fruits and vegetables. Fruits and vegetables come from the agri station. All they take is 3 ice to make 4 fruits and vegetables. Okay, but then what else do we need? We need silicon. That's a mineral we mine. It's in system. We're going to mine it. I'm going to show it to you together. Energy cells are synthetic fibers and nickel. We have nickel and we have silicon, and the synthetic fibers we made with the fruits and vegetables and iron to make the parts we're missing for the microchips. All we're missing then is energy cells. Oh, sorry, like I said, nickel and synthetic fibers. You put the energy cell, you put the silicon, you put the synthetic fibers in the workshop, and you pops 5 microchips. Microchips, the reason I wanted to show you microchips are in all upgrade kits. They're also in many of your building blocks for your stations, which I'll show you in a second. Now, if you want to see this other part, I'm going to dark reader this again, and that lets you see this a little bit better. This is built into it as well. And what happens is each one of them, it's a mining station, agri station, laboratory, or factory, and it shows you exactly how this is built. Microchips down here with little corresponding arrows, and yes, my face in the way. I'll move it over here. Microchips takes energy cells. It takes silicon. Also, one of the other inputs is synthetic fibers. It shows you exactly how to read it. As long as not all of you might not know how to use flowcharts. This is what this is. The arrows will show you everything. If there's an arrow coming in, track back to what it is. If you want to know how to produce that, find the 2 arrows that go to it, nickel and synthetic fibers. Make sense? You will have this link in the description below. I know this stuff is annoying sometimes. It's a little complex for some people. For other people, it's the most simple thing in the world. People that have been spreadsheet gurus for years. Hi, EVE Online guys. I see you're here. Anyway, be aware of that, and don't get angry. Just keep looking. Eventually, if you look at it, it'll eventually start making sense. Start tracking back. If you can't figure it out, the stuff on the left will take care of it for you. Okay? Let's move on to the next piece. I want to keep this short. One thing I forgot to mention, which I think is important, there is currently no way in the game, besides you tallying it up yourself, which I'm sorry, to find out how much threat and de-threat your whole system runs per hour or per minute. So what happens is if you press the V key on a station and you go to administration, it'll show you the station's aggro. It won't show you your sector aggro or your entire system. Like all this stuff in here, you have to add everything up and do it yourself. I wish there was. I know the developer is aware of it and he's very good about taking suggestions, and many people besides myself have said, hey, is there any way we can see like a building that'll show us all this and say turrets, production buildings, what's the final percentage, up or down? And he's aware of that, and he's trying to figure something out, whether it's going to be a readout into your ship, whether it's going to be a building, I don't know. He is aware. He's trying to work on it. But remember, he's a one-man team. He's doing as fast as he can. He's doing pretty good. I got him credit. All right, I'll go on to the next piece. I'm going to take a dip in for 1 second to making sure you know how production boosters work before we even put up the factory chains, because they work on the mining chains. Remember I showed you about mining with thermal regulators? I had someone tell me, they're like, oh, that's not worth it. I said, could you please explain? And they said, well, if you're getting 3 iron versus 2 iron and it's costing you a thermal regulator, it's not worth it. And I said, wait, what? Where are you getting that? And they said, well, it's down there below. It consumes a thermal regulator. I said, no, it says remaining resource of the thermal regulator. Each thermal regulator down here, if you scroll over it on this tool tip, resource gain per item is 20 real life minutes for 1 thermal regulator to work. The cycle time is 6.7 seconds currently with this mining time. So you're getting 20 minutes of +1, not 6.7 seconds of +1. And I want to make sure I said that, because I know someone, at least a few people were watching me play this, were like, that's not worth it. I was like, I gotta explain this better. So we'll move on to the next thing. This works in everything production wise. Every production area you build will have some kind of capacity to be upgraded or have its upkeep reduced. And here's what I mean. If you go to the basic generator on any one, power plant or something inside of a station, you can go fuel. It'll tell you what it'll take, energy cells, volatiles, or batteries. It'll tell you at the bottom how long each one gives you. A single battery will give you 180 minutes of fuel for this station. That's 3 real life hours. It takes a while to build them, but what that means is when you do that, resource consumption eliminates upkeep costs and improves the module effectiveness. So what you can do is, there is a basic generator cost per hour. It's not a lot, it's really not. But if you're making oodles, and I'm making them myself, I think I'm making like 9 to 12 energy cells per 10 seconds or something like that, right? That's a lot when it's hours and hours and hours. I have 20,000 of them things at my other base. If you bring them over, or better yet, make your own here, because it takes a lot to move a lot of those energy cells, you can say, turn this on in the storage network right here. Like I could dump in these energy cells. I'm going to do it for posterity. I'm going to add in 20. Okay, 20 energy cells are now in there. I'm going to go to here. Sorry, our power plant. I'm going to say, hey, power plant, I want you to use my energy cells from the network. And it would be really nice if it worked. Is that wrong? Did I do this wrong? Seriously? Oh, I haven't decided it. So the power plant, to do that, by the way, I'm glad that actually happened, needs to be tied into the network. It's not currently. It takes a prefab unit, which for some of you might be expensive, and you have to tie it into this medium station. Now, I go back to the high output generator and I say energy cell. It takes 5 minutes, 100% energy generation, which we don't need 100% energy generation. We don't need that. This generator isn't doing that. It doesn't need that kind of power. If you're trying to run everything off one power plant, maybe it's going to work if you want to have less threat generation, or if you have a tremendous amount of power you're generating because of these energy cells, or as you saw, the volatiles I would never burn. They make better things like chemicals down the line, which are worth like 650 credits per. I would not waste those. It does give you 20 minutes versus 5 minutes. Batteries give you 90 minutes. If I was going to make an end game thing and eliminate my upkeep costs, which they're very low on the thing anyway, like this building cost me 0. Okay, the way it runs. Now that's only because if I take this off, take that off, go back to administration, it has to, I guess, has to update, but it's not worth it. It's very much not worth it. I would not do that. I showed you that for a minute. You can put it in the way it works with consumption for fuel or additives. It consumes them as soon as you put them in. However, it doesn't keep going if the item isn't there, meaning The fuel is always used per second to output energy. It's already gone. In a factory, every time a cycle goes, let's say it's a 10-second cycle, let's say you have enough to make 4 cycles of 40 seconds total, but you have a 5-minute booster in there. Okay, I'll even show it to you down here to make sure that makes more sense. Let's say I'm down here in the workshop, right? And I want to build microchips, which I will build up, but even though it's not there, it's missing synthetic fibers, it's missing silicon, it's missing energy cells. Now it's going to build those. And because this one here needs robotics, as opposed to thermal regulator, it'll consume this thing. It has 20 minutes. Now 40 seconds will go off for the 40 seconds. Let's say this is better, right? Let's say, oh, it doesn't go less. So 4 cycles, 45 seconds would be 90, 180. It'd be 3 minutes. That would mean 17 minutes would sit here waiting, not being consumed, even though the timer is on. The timer will pause if the inputs are not there. So if you're like, oh man, I got to make sure I have enough. No, you don't. You really don't. I was very happy this was the case, because why would a factory making an item that has an extra feedstock use the feedstock if there's no item being made? And that's very nice quality of life. I want to make sure you're aware of it, because I know a lot of people would be like, oh my God, it's not worth doing unless I have all these things perfectly. No, it's not. You can have them set up, ready to go, dump the resources in the system, get out while it's already doing this. All right, so I want to make sure you know that. The next piece is about your builder module. As a few of you have seen, my turrets started out with 8 trait points. Yours are probably starting out with 1 or 2, right? How can you get that yourself as quick as possible? One thing you can do at the very bottom of your builder module, you'll see my builder module is purple. Now, the game is going to tell you to make your builder module from white to green during the tutorial. And it's going to, if you do it early, you can have your stations be a little higher starting level. However, if you were like, oh man, I did it early, I don't have the builder module anymore, I have to go find a new one. You don't have to go find one or buy it. You can make it yourself. Let's show you how. If you go to services on your medium station or small station, as long as you have a workshop, I believe, you can have the crafting menu will be under management. All right, so under services. Hit services, crafting. You're gonna have the custom weapon, blueprints, ship enhancement. Go to blueprints. Now you have 4 different blueprint tabs. One is ships. The first one, however, is weapons. Then it's ships equipment. These are catch-alls. I call them like their construction parts or upgrade pieces. Your transmitters under here. Your thermal regulator for your mines are up here. Your robotics for your workshops and factories are up here. Crystal chambers are for, in essence, stargates. There's some other things, but mostly stargates. Microchips for upgrade kits. Everything you need, including ammo, is in here. The small containers, just so you know, are for people that fly really, really, really small ships and want to move a large amount of stuff around and not use big ships. They're not really used very much, but I did ask some of the beta testers what it's for. From here, all the way down, every part of this is either used in Starbases or construction of upgrade kits. So fine construction component prefab are all construction to build Starbase parts. Endorian components, superior component, fine component base, like these 2, I believe, are made for, actually no, it's just the Endorian components for items. These 3 are used in Starbase stuff as well as some upgrades. If you go look at the upgrade kits, here's the upgrade kits you should be building. The green one lets you make greens. The purple one lets you, the blue one lets you make greens and the purples. And if you want to go higher, you need ancient relics, which you keep floating around. Do not use ancient relics. I'm going to try to save you a tremendous amount of time. Even me with like 75 hours in this playthrough, I think I found 250 ancient relics. I could probably go hunt for them, but my time is precious and not free. However, upgrade kits are cheap. An upgrade kit takes 2 basic components and 2 microchips. An improved upgrade kit takes 5 basic components, 1 refined metal, which comes from your mines, your mining stations, which are mining gray ore. They will spit this stuff, refined metal out like crazy. The 2 microchips. Maybe there's a reason I'm trying to show you how to build microchips yourself, because upgrade kits and improved upgrade kits should be used on all of your gear at all times. There is no reason, because basic components are 2 scrap metal and 2 iron. Now, some of you are going to say, well, where the hell do I get scrap metal? Scrap metal comes from debris fields, and scrap metal comes from gray ore that is being refined in your refineries. So if you turn on a gray ore mine and let it run with good geology, and a refinery that's just maxing out with like geology, meaning the stats, and I will show you that in a second, you will get so much scrap metal it will not be funny. So the first, I hate to say this, but I have to recant one thing I said. I said go for iron ore. You do need some iron. Maybe get like 100 iron. But then as soon as you have that iron, which will also come out of gray ore, I would switch over to gray ore all the time until you have a tremendous amount of scrap metal. And you can see down here on mine, I've got 14,261 scrap metal. At the beginning of the game, I was scrambling to find scrap metal. I was going nuts because I couldn't build some of the things I needed, which were the basic components to build my stations, because construction components right here require 2 basic components. That means every construction component requires 4 scrap metal. Okay? That's not a lot, but that's 1 turret. That's 1 star. That's, well, some star bases are like 5, but you should keep that in mind. You also need nickel and microchips. And this station here that's next to us, I believe, has them. But that's why I want to show you a station that either has iron in it to make sure you can get off your feet, or someone has nickel, because both of them under trade. This one has nickel and iron and aluminum. It also has microchips right here. So that's what you're kind of looking for as your holy grail. If you can find batteries on top of that, it's going to make your life real easy. Batteries are used in a lot of your stuff, and they're very cheap. The battery is 454 right now for that one. If you turn that on, you have 90 minutes of upkeep free power. Now, is it worth buying for that? No, it's not. The upkeep for those stations are so low, I'd say it's not. If you're making the batteries and you have a tremendous amount of battery production, I would revisit that. It's up to you, okay? So I want to show you that. They also, wait, before I got out of whack here, the reason I showed you the upgrade kits down here on this tab, you can take your builder module, which is under equipment at the very bottom of the list. See how it says builder module? Mine's purple because I've destroyed enough. You can figure out what tier you want and build it. 2 basic components, 1 microchips. You have this from the first second in the game. And we're under attack. Perfect. I was hoping for this. A full offensive, overwhelming force, intent on total destruction is approaching. That's new, I must admit. Huh. When I had this last time, that wasn't here. Now, I'm going to say screw it and say, let them come. Because I want them to show up here in 2 minutes. And I'm going to fight them off with what I have. And my ship is decent enough. I'm going to get my fleet for this. The main reason I was trying to tell you that, though, about the upgrade kits, you can build your builder module under this tab, under crafting, this tab, very bottom, all the time. It's on everyone's bottom list, builder module, and you'll probably have this one, tier 1. Build 2 basic components, 1 microchip, you get a builder module. Get the builder module, upgrade it to blue, then use one of your ancient relics to make it purple. A blue builder module will see how it says starting station level 1. Number 2, builder 2 is 2, then it goes to 4, and then it goes to 7. As far as I'm aware, I haven't seen an orange ever, but maybe it helps you start off your station with a station level higher than everyone else, meaning it accumulated more experience and it'll have more trait points. I believe that's 100% right. I could be wrong. I'm going to find out. Also, I have to go do this attack. I'm going to save this right here just in case, because I haven't done this for a while. Now, the capital impulse drive and everything else doesn't matter. Now, let me go. I'm going to get the battle ready, meaning I'm going to go get my other shipmates and bring them over so I can fight, and we're going to do this attack. So I'll be right back. Okay, so the attack has come in. I just warped the system. I don't know where they are. I don't see. Oh, they're there, up there. So they're probably going to go up for this one. I'm going to head up that way. So what's going on? I wanted to show you guys an attack. It's a station defense, station attack. I'm bringing out the Artemis. I mean, I know it's a little overkill, but it's always fun. I believe they're going for this resource bay up here. And thank you, by the way, for those who have stuck through the video at this point. I find this game remarkably fun. It's what I've always wanted to play. Top-down station stuff is always fun. Now, I did put up some lasers here. I'm going to give them some upgrades while we're sitting here, so they can do some work for us. And all I'm going to do is upgrade their damage. Past that, I don't really care. I'm going to put up one more turret, too, just in case. Not enough materials. I don't have one. Let's get one out of here, then. Cargo link, yep, storage. Load. Load. Okay. While they're coming in, because right now the gate guards are fighting them, or someone's fighting them. Yeah, they're hitting the gate guards. Yeah, the Marauder Assault Fleet's already dead. So here's what happened. I was worried about this attack. I shouldn't have been. I really shouldn't have. I'll go get this loot because who doesn't want to get loots? Fat loots. What happened was they spawned. It's based upon the system level, and the level is right there. You can see it. Every single system has level. If you colonize an area, like when I colonized this system, my capital, it was level like 21. It's 38 now because I put so much into it. And if you want to see the stuff I put in it, I'll show it to you at the end of the video or in the other video. I don't want to waste your time. Be aware of that. Now, when you spread out, as you can see, I have right here under my face, I have a mining base, a mining base, a mining base, a mining base up there, and I have my production area there. Anything randomly will be targeted by the enemy. It seems to be the more production or mining you have with the least amount of defenses will be attacked. Now, this one here was a better choice, but it's in a pocket. This one here, I don't know, maybe it's RNG, I have no idea. When they came in here, they went over it. The gate guards are elite. If you want to know how to figure out what that means, every person has their level. If they have a star next to it, the star will either be silver or gold. Silver's pretty good. Gold's really good. That's elite versus veteran, I guess. And you don't want to tangle with them. The pirates came over, the guards saw them and nuked them all for me. I killed like one, and it was over. Okay, let's move on to the next piece. The last one I'm going to show you is to show how to make a collector beam. Now, some of you probably have your own star bases, and you're like, oh man, I love blowing up all these enemies. There's all this kind of loot, and I'm missing some of the loot, and I wish I had not. How do I get the loot without destroying myself? This is the very simplest way I can figure out. Go to this is your turret. It is a light turret. It has nothing in it. I'm going to make something. Upgrade one level. Put in any kind of weapon you want. However, it's not the main purpose of this to have a weapon. It has a weapon, and I would go then to the free slot. I would make a cargo manager link. Under the cargo manager link, you are going to upgrade it one time, because you have to for what I'm trying to do. You're going to put one level of install collector beam. You do not need 5 beams unless you are trying to mine with your station in an asteroid rush. You might need 5 beams then. For now, you need 1. Then you need this collector beam range plus 36 points. If you want to see the range, it's right there. It's 72, 108, 144, 180. Pretty far range. You still have some points left. You can determine where this is, or you can put in some of the armor, or in my range, I would probably put in a medium laser beam. I would also not be against putting in a point defense laser if it's this far back and making sure the range is a little higher. You have 1 point over. Maybe dump repair into it if you want to. I'd also say maybe one thing, a hull, instead of having 1,800 hill points, give it 1,960. It's up to you what you want to do on that. I don't like my turrets having 2,000 hit points and no armor. I just don't. Now, what that does, I'm going to show it to you so you can actually understand it. Under collection, what's my collector beam? Collector beam is 9. All right, so my collector beam is off now. If you look above, I'll move my camera. The only things on right here are this is the station, the system threat level, and next to it is the asteroid my reader. So if I go over here, see how it says at the very top of the screen, what's in the asteroid? That is always on. It doesn't cost me much of any energy. I think its energy costs 6. I'm making 200 a second. It's taking 6 a second. You can build your ship however you want. There's no wrong way to play the game. Well, there is, kind of. If your ship doesn't function, doesn't fly, it explodes when you hit the weapons, which is possible, I wouldn't do that. Now, this collection array here is on. How do you make it work? Well, what you do, go to your inventory. I'm going to dump out a few items. We're going to jettison. Notice how I just picked that up? Now, where did that go? I'm going to show you where it goes to. Let's dump in some Vulcan ammo, jettison, and jettison. Now, it's going to pick up both. It picked up both just now and sucked them in. Now, where did that go? Well, if you look at our storage array on the station, there it is. There's the stuff. All right, did I do that wrong? I think I did that wrong. Yeah, it's over here. So I forgot one piece. I'm sorry. Go to your cargo manager and tie it in to your station. Now it's over here. Now that rapid medium laser, I think, is out of range. It is. That's a shame. You have to figure out for your defense where you want your turrets. I try to put them on the edge of lines and compared to really far back. The enemy seems to ignore them almost without fail. So if, let's say, the reason I left these upgrade crosses out here are to show you where the turret line is. If I have these 3 turrets, I would probably put a collector beam right about here, or maybe here. a little farther forward. Only because the collection beam, even maxed out, doesn't seem to do what I want it to do. It just doesn't. Now, when pirates nail into it, they will collect. So you could probably, if you have a collector beam and you have enough stuff going on, you could probably change your turrets. For me, having this far range might be too much. Right now my range is 260. My collector beam range on this thing is 180. So far back here, it's not going to be able to hit as quick as they can. It's up to you. Like I said, there's no wrong way to do it. Some of you are going to say, I have this beautiful solution, and you're going to prove me wrong, and that's perfectly fine. Or not wrong, you're going to have a better plan, and I love that. If you want to show it to me, go for it. I'm on the Valor forums, or Discord rather. Show it to me. Go to help or whatever. Just say, hey man, tag me. I'm Banlish and everything. So there you go. Hopefully you like that. Let's go on to the next piece. The last piece is to touch into one more thing I forgot. I don't know if I did it 100% right, so I'm going to make sure I do it for you. I showed you how to build, and I know someone's probably going to get really angry. I didn't go loot that rapid medium laser. So what I'm going to do is try my best to explain two more things. We're almost at the end. I'm sorry it took me so long. I know this is a very long guide, but I wanted to give a little bit of a touch-up that the tutorial doesn't really have time to do, or was a little vague on, okay? And you can see over there, this is why I like the lasers. Boom, he's dead. And that's one thing I guess I should tell you too. If you're in system, and I mean anywhere in system, and an enemy dies, you get experience on your ship for it. I don't know why. As far as I'm aware, I don't think there's a range. You do get experience, because I'll be sitting here, not touch my ship, and I'm planning something out, and I'm looking down below, and all of my people are getting more and more and more experience inside my ship. So if you're going to sit still and plan out a huge production chain, or you're going to figure out where you're going to go exploring, and you're going to sit still in the game while the game is still ticking, I would highly recommend you get in your biggest ship with as many people as possible at a low level and sit back here and let the guns guard you while you do your planning. It just helps. Now, the next thing I want to show you was where the production chain, I think I showed you this already, but I want to make sure I hit on it one more time. Under crafting, under blueprints, under here is, I think I stopped because of the upgrade kits and because of the pirate attack. Upgrade all of your things. Just upgrade everything you possibly can. All you need is basic components and microchips. Microchips I already showed you how to build. It's very cheap. It's 2 silicon and scrap metal if you don't want to build it in your own Starbases, which takes a little bit more, but it's also a lot more passive. This one, scrap metal is important, but it's not the end of the world to make it. You can also buy the microchips and just make a huge amount of the scrap microchips are like, see that this happened? We're sitting here, I'm talking to you, and like right now, Walter Oberman, who is under the thing here, right here, he just leveled up to expert, which is weapon range plus 26. Now, most of these people, I put this green because this is a cargo ship. It is my mid-level cargo ship. It is not my end game cargo ship, which I'll show you in the advanced guide. This ship is a 443 storage. The one I'm using now is about 1,000 storage. And the reason I do that is when you sell to an NPC station, the price immediately changes after you finish the sale. So if you sell 443 or 1,000, the price only changes after this first sale. So if I try to sell with this ship, I have to sell twice. I've nuked the second price. It's not as good as selling 1,000 at a time. Okay, but the main thing is the crafting under here. Please make sure you upgrade your weapons for your ship and your turrets if you have the funds in terms of like the resources. If you're swimming in iron and scrap metal and silicon, and you have tons of microchips and you have tons of scrap metal, there is literally no reason besides your laziness to not upgrade your upgrade kits on all your weaponry. If you have white weapons, there is a vast difference. And that's the reason I kept this over here to show you. Medium laser beams. I wish I had the upgraded version. Okay, here's the heavy laser. This is a perfect one. This is level 1, level 2, level 3, and level 4. So the basic one is a heavy laser. It does DPS, is all that matters. 53 DPS a second. If you go one level higher, it's 63 DPS a second. If you go one level higher than that, which you can do with upgrade kits, it's 79.5 versus 53. We're talking a 60% increase in damage for literally 2 kits. If you then use an Ancient Relic, which I don't think I would use Ancient Relics on my turrets, unless you thought there was no way in hell you could put down more turrets and put like two blues. If you gotta put the red in, hey, go for it. It's 106 versus 53. It's literally double for that. If you're putting those weapons on your ship, you're doing double damage to get purples versus whites. Okay? Please keep that in mind. I would say that almost every weapon should be at least green. I'd say if you're gonna go that far, you might as well do blues. I wouldn't do purples on turrets unless you have some kind of really weird setup and you're losing turret after turret after turret, which if you are, something's wrong. Or you're entering late game and you want to get the achievement. If you're trying to get the achievement for 20 attacks survive in a system, okay, I do that. Okay, now under here is all the stuff you need to build your stations. Everything is right there. That tab. Basic components of the transmitters. Everything in here built is in a corresponding. See, watch, transmitters and crystal chambers. If I press 0, the sensor relay requires 2 transmitters, 2 basic component, 2 construction component. You've all seen the other 2. The blue one, transmitters, that's the only thing that's in there. The last one is the jump gate. 2 fine construction component, 2 crystal chambers, and 2 batteries. This is the only thing that, as far as I'm aware, even with the advanced factory, it doesn't take crystal chambers. They're going to be annoying to get. They are. Crystal chambers, so you know, because I know you're going to ask me about this. Crystal chambers, it's right here, are 3 blues, 2 reds, 1 green, and 1 basic component. Getting green crystals is a pain in the butt. If you're looking, how do I do that? The corresponding crystal, green is green ore, red is red ore, and blue are gray ore. Don't ask me why. And the basic component is scrap metal. That's it. Basic component is right there. It's 2 scrap metal, 2 iron. You're going to want to harvest green. Because I know some of you are going to become miners very, very fast, because it's a really wonderful way to get your geology up, as well as your bank account up. If you're trying to pass, or a nice way to vibe out while you watch the video on YouTube and, you know, mine. There'll be a mining guide eventually soon. So that's one way to do it. The last thing I want to show you is the production chain. I'm going to make the production chain in this system for microchips, but I'm not going to show you the whole thing. I'll build it and then I'll show it to you. So give me a second. One more thing you should know that'll make your life very easy. There's what's called a warp beacon. A warp beacon, all it is 1 construction component, and you do not have to put anything else by it to make it work. And it'll tell you where you warp in. When you warp into a system, like I'm warping it right now, it's in the dead center always. I'm going to move it so I don't have to worry about this as much. Let me just kill these. You're dead. You're dead. You're dead. Ancient relic detected right down there. We'll go get that for 5 seconds. The warp beacon is just a way to say, I want to warp in here, but it's flying over every goddamn time. And some of you will know that is very annoying. It is absolutely annoying to me, and I fully intend to fix it. Give me a second to get to the next piece. So, like I was saying, if you want to warp into a system and not always go in the dead center of the system, like right here, you always start at the middle of any system. That's the primary warping point. If you want to change that, you go to your builder module and you go to warp beacon. All it takes is 1 construction component. However, there are some stipulations. It does not tell you. 1, when your ship warps in, everything nearby, it'll bounce off of. If it's a very large ship, like a ginormous, I don't know, battleship, dreadnought, cruiser. Yeah, you should probably know about that. I would highly recommend you put it somewhere where that's not going to happen. For me, right about here is not bad. I'm going to put most of my factories probably here anyway. So I'm going to put my warp-in point right about here. The warp beacon is one of the few items I know of you can warp into and not have a problem. You do not have to have line of sight. It will not block anything as far as I'm aware. So I'm going to put the warp beacon there. I'll let the thing take care of it, and I'll build it up, and I'll warp out to show you. So let me just get this done for 1 second. Or I guess I could press escape and do it easier. Press Y. For me, it's Shift N. Press N again. Now the warp beacon is on. Warp signal relay is all it needs. It does not be upgraded. If you really are worried about it, you can put a little hull stuff onto it. Make sure it's not going to explode. The generator, 1 tick. maybe 2. There you go. Now it has some power. It can shut up. I think that's all it needs, right? So let's make sure we prove it to you. We warp out of system for 1 second. So warp down one of my areas. Let this recharge. Unfortunately, I have to let the thing up here behind my head. If you look at right here, the little orange, sorry, right here, that little orange thing is taking up. As soon as that's done, we can warp in. Now, if you found value in this guide, you're this far in, I always ask one thing. I'm not going to ask you the follow-up. I'm going to ask you if I earned it and I gave you value by giving you all this information, all this research, all of this entertainment. Hey, maybe considering it. If you want to hit other buttons, though, that's up to you. Bells and like buttons. I appreciate it, but I'm never going to be like, oh, please do it if I did. No, no, no. You know if I did or not. I don't have to friggin' tell you to. And I hate when YouTubers for like 30 seconds of the video go, hit that button. You don't know who I am yet. You don't know if I even did the right job yet. There's no reason to ask you that. At the end, if you made it this far in, I'll ask politely to consider it. If the other buttons are pushed, hey, thank you so much. I'm just looking for the subscription. That way I can give you more stuff over time. And I'm an indie guy. So we're going to go back with the M button. We're going to say, I want to go here. Any system you have will have this little symbol above it. If you have a Starbase there, it'll show you the Starbase stuff. If you scroll over the system, it'll show you with this tab over here what stations you own. Like this one, I own 2 advanced mining stations, a jump gate, a small station, and a mining station. When mining stations serve their purpose, rip them down if you think that's appropriate. So we're going to go up, go back here. Oh, look, we warped in. We're on our beacon. We're down here. As you can see, the ship's flashing. We're no longer here. It's very useful. If you're going to go to a system multiple times, and let's say you're warping out because you are like, oh, I need to go get an item, or I need to go get some supplies, or I need to go refresh my ships. My mercenaries are all beat to crap, or my fleet is almost destroyed, and I don't have any way to repair them easily, or it's going to take too long. Drop a beacon, upgrade it, warp out, come back in, take down the beacon. You lose nothing. You might have a little upkeep for like seconds worth, who cares? All right. Now, the beacon works. It's pretty good. The next part will be, I'll put the next thing up. This is something I forgot about. This is a quick little note about the turrets that I think a lot of you should know. When you go to a turret, you might not notice it, but I think a lot of you maybe you will, maybe you won't. The main thing about it is, if you look on here, it shows both of these as slots on the light turret. The heavy turret has something different. On the light turret, which a lot of you are going to use for the majority of your stuff, there's force space and turning speed 8, slow turning speed. And this one is space 2, but a really fast turning speed. What you want to do, from what I can tell, is in the main slot, you want to put your big, fat, lazy turning gun that doesn't need to turn a lot. Like if you're not trying to attack drones or really fast fight interceptors or fighters, you're probably going to want to put your medium laser, your cannons. Think of like a 30mm gun here. The second slot turns very fast, but it's very small. Think of like your anti-aircraft guns here. So you're going to want to put your point defense guns in the secondary slot. You don't have to do that. That is what I'm recommending. So because there's more space up here anyway, the bigger guns seem to want to go here. This one is going to be the one that's going to stop the fighters and the interceptors, the robots, the drones, all that kind of stuff. Do what you want with that information. I just want to point it out because I know that there's so much information coming in this game, you're probably going to miss some stuff. Now this part is basically what I wanted to show you. The actual production chain all the way from start to finish for microchips. So microchips require a few things I want to make sure I showed you. I showed you the production chain before. It's energy cells, silicon, synthetic fibers. The most basic is silicon. This asteroid right here, which I think I should be able to show you at the very top screen. Try it right here. Boop. Silicon comes out of here, out of this silicon mining station. It is boosted with thermal regulator. It has all the production stuff. Get it as soon as you can. It needs power from a power plant, which is right here. Sharing through these 3, okay? Next part would be the energy cells. Energy cells are being built at this factory. They require synthetic fibers and nickel. Now, who's making synthetic fibers? This laboratory is. The laboratory is making synthetic fibers. It too is boosted. I'm going to boost it now with chemicals. I had to go make the chemicals myself. You can decide to make another lab for that if you want to. It's only a boost, but it is a 15-minute long boost for +1 production yield. The cycle time is 6.7 seconds. It may or may not be worth it to you. It's your call. Next, we need let me make sure this, I'm making sure I give you the right information. Synthetic fibers are being produced with silicon and energy cells to make microchips. So why did I make... Oh yeah, fruits and vegetables make synthetic fibers. The AgriStation is making fruits and vegetables. All it is ice, 3 ice, with a production booster of chemicals for 15 minutes equals 6 fruits and vegetables per 3 ice, a 2-to-1 ratio. Okay? Probably the best you can do, from what I can see, to make sure you don't waste anything. All 3 of them, energy cells, synthetic fibers, and organic matter, go into microchips, because you take the synthetic fibers from the fruits and vegetables, which are being made here at this station. Actually, I'm wrong. Let me make sure of that, actually. I want to make sure I'm going to give you the right information. Was I supposed to make... Wait. To make synthetic fibers, I need iron and fruits and vegetables. Right. So then why am... Oh, yeah. So this makes fruits and vegetables. It goes there and makes synthetic fibers. Over there again to make synthetic fibers. You can take the medium station out of it and make something else with the medium station. I chose to. You can make these other items here. There wasn't really anything I needed, but synthetic fibers are needed for so many things in this game. I decided to do both. Do with what you want with that. Then all 3 of them go into the advanced factory or the factory. The factory can do it too. You look at the fabricator. You can make microchips right here. You do not have to use what I'm using. I would highly recommend you pay for the production time upgrade. See, it says 9.1 seconds, 8 seconds, 6.7 seconds. You have to have the resources for it, but you can really pump out a lot very quickly. Okay. Oh, wait, I forgot something. We forgot. No, that wasn't that one. Was it this one? Yeah, this one needs a production booster of robotics. That means we get 14 cells compared to 13 cells for the same amount of production coming out. So 1 synthetic fiber, 1 nickel equals 14 energy cells. There is one more thing. Those 3 go into here to make your microchips. I'm making 7 microchips per 13 seconds. Let's upgrade it. 8,000, 2,000, 4,000, 8,000 equals max. Now it's every 10 seconds we're making 7 microchips. Now, the only reason I'm showing you that, you will need oodles of these things. Oodles and oodles and oodles. Every upgrade kit, every improved upgrade kit, and many mission specific items ask for it too. I'm not exactly sure. I think that, oh, sorry, there's also, if you go to services and crafting, a lot of your blueprints, especially under this tab. Fine component, no, sorry. Where to go? I'm wrong. Prefab is synthetic. There's microchips there and construction components. Fine construction components. We'll take robotics, which take microchips. Upgrade kits, microchips. Improve upgrade kits, microchips. Drone parts, microchips. Robotics. No, do not take microchips. I'm sorry. Thermal regulator. Nope. And transmitter. Nope. Okay. It's a nice amount, and if you run out, you can do one thing. You can go to your storage. I want to make sure I give you every piece of information I could at the end of this video. If you click on this with tier 3 trade codex, it'll show you the highest places, 3910. For me, it's a grid system, okay? We're in 1924. That means over here somewhere, there's 3910 right there. They are buying microchips to make computers over here. They are paying 124 per unit for a while as it chunks down. So you want to get as many as you can over there, including if you dump a tremendous amount in the system, or sorry, in the station where it's going to be, deposit them, don't sell them, and then sell the entire stack. You have to worry about the other traders doing it. The yellow traders who fly around with the names, like Steve Smith or Ryan Devon or whatever. Those people, all those little ships you see flying around, they are traders. They're independent traders. They will, if they can find it, they'll move that stuff over. Be careful. Okay, if you're trying to get a ginormous stack sold, be ready to take some annoyance from those traders. But I want to show you the entire production chain. That way you can make your own production chain. It's not perfect. It takes a lot. The one thing I don't think I showed you in here that was working the best was the robotics and the chemicals. Robotics and chemicals will come out over time. I think the advanced factory can make robotics. I'm sorry, off the top of my head. Yeah, robotics are 1 microchips, 1 aluminum, 1 copper, and 1 lithium. It's not hard to get once you start putting mining bases down and the cargo arrays like I showed you. but you will need these for production boosters. Production boosters mean you get like 15 minutes of +1 production value in your factories. It is extremely powerful. And it reiterate again, when you're mining and you have a +2 on your end production, it only takes 1 out of the deposit. If the deposit is 0, you will always just get +3 if you do that, which means you're not losing that much. It may be 30 seconds versus 6 seconds to pull the mineral up, but as long as you're doing other things in the game, it just continuously chunk in your inventory. It's very powerful. Use it to your bench. You're going to have to find out something to do with money, though. That'll be my next thing. Okay, now one last thing. I know I keep saying probably one last thing a million times. One thing you need to do is when you get to a certain point, you're going to stabilize very quickly with how much you're making, and you're going to have to get a better ship. You're going to have to move stuff around unless the developer has added by this time. Maybe sometime in the future, they'll be adding NPC fleets for you to move bulk goods around with a chance of maybe them getting attacked or something. If not in the game yet, you got to do it all yourself. Once you stabilize and have a bunch of money, you have to figure out, what is my next step? What production chains do I want to try to get going? One thing you might want to know is ice is a huge thing you're going to look for. Organic matter is kind of behind ice as something else you need a lot of. Everything else, mineral-wise, you'll find it eventually. The crystals, if you can find a source of green crystals, I can find red and blue. You might have to go like level 50 and above difficulty systems. If you can find an asteroid with green crystals, I've never seen it yet, and get that producing, it goes right into your resource stash globally. I would go nuts for that. Every high-end craft requires at least 1 green crystal. The other way you find them is to blow up little green asteroids that are floating around and mine the hard way, which is fine. I've never been able to trade for them, even tin-head stations now. There's a lot that you have to figure out next on your own. I can't give you everything in one guide. I wish I could. I don't want to make this like a 2-hour-long guide. The one thing I have to say is after this, you have to make your own goal. Part of that would be like, what do you want to do next? You can decide to finally create your fleet. You probably have enough money to buy a lot of the gear or manufacture the gear to make an entire fleet of not mercs. You could also say, screw it, I'm not having mercs at all. I don't want them. That's fine too. You can say, I'm just going to make your ship as powerful as possible and try to be a solo Pwnmobile. The next thing you can also do is to have Stargates tie everything together. The Advanced Starbase guide is coming very shortly. Like I said, this in the description should somewhere be the link for it, or the first comment pinned should have, hey, here it is, here's all the information you need. Because I can't get all the information out unless you're already a subscriber and you're listening to this place. I stream on Twitch, but not everyone listens every day. My Discord is separate than the Valor Discord. Not everyone's active on there all the time. It's hard to get information out to people that some of you need. Like some of you are like, where's the Starbase guide? And I'm like, I'm trying to get it. And some real life stuff kind of hit me really hard. The other thing you can do is you want to start exploring other systems. You're gonna have to find a ship that is very fast to move around systems and explore a lot to find other places to sell. You will very rapidly with a Leviathan, with like 1,000 storage, very easily to get that. You will very quickly fill up all the factories and workshops that need it, and you're going to start going down the list and not being able to sell your best items for a lot. I made 20,000 chemicals, and the developer changed the way the game worked, where stations that were making explosives, which were my #1 customer, were like, whoa, we have too much chemicals, we don't need any more. And I was like, well, wait a minute, I have so much. And I had to figure out what to do with all the chemicals, and that was then basic medicine, synthetic meat, all this other stuff. I had to start flying around, and eventually even I filled those up, and I was like, I gotta figure out a way. And the way I did it was to explore around and find a bunch of the systems. So I explored the systems fully, and most systems will have, on average, one station or one NPC station. If you're really lucky, 2 stations, 2 NPC stations, and maybe a factory or a laboratory or an agro station will buy all these things from you. And there's going to be reasons to make sure when you're going one way, you come back with something else to be very efficient. Some of you that are very nice will do that too. I would say this is very much a game where you have to figure out your own fun, okay? This is a sandbox. At the end of the day, it's a sandbox. Make your own goals. There's nothing wrong. There's no wrong way to play the game as long as you're having fun. If you want to go destroy everything you want to find, go for it. You want to blow up the red pirates or the Red Skull pirates and go to war against them, wipe out their stations and wipe out their systems, go for it. It's possible. I've wiped out a few on this one because they had some resources I wanted. Another thing is to become allied to everyone. I've seen people do that. Another thing is to make the best ships in the game, which are only blueprintable. They are not buyable. You cannot buy them in the game. I forget. I think it's like the hepatitis or something like that. Asbestos, something like that. I can't remember the name of the ship. I'm sorry, but you can only find it by becoming allied to the tin heads over time, doing their missions for schematics, and eventually you're going to get a ship that's very hard to find. Or sorry, very hard to find the blueprint. And then that blueprint, it takes a monumental amount of resources, including iridium, which is very hard to get. So there's a reason to do this long term. You can do whatever you want. The game is meant to be played multiple times through, but the advanced Starbase guide is coming. There's also mining guides coming. There's also fleet guides coming. There's ship fitting guides coming, because I really enjoyed this game. I've been vibing out to it for, I think the developer gave me access 8, 9, 10 months ago, because I was like, hey man, could I have some Mac? He goes, sure, because I made the first guide, or it wasn't a guide, it was more of a 50 things you should know before you play. And even in there, people are like, oh my God, this guy's telling you stuff you could learn in the first couple hours. And I'm like, that was the point. Like legit, that's the point. It said 50 things before you play to save you time that people didn't know. And people were treating it like it was an end-all be-all guide. It's not. This isn't. It's a basic one. Even though it's very long, I know it's going to get long, even with me cutting things out of it. I want to say thank you for being part of this today. The Advanced Starbase guide is coming. If you want to see more, I'll probably ask multiple times at the end here, because I'm stringing this all together to, whoa, Albert Johnson is legendary? Whoa. I'm sorry, that cut me off. He's a legendary gunner. I didn't know that was possible. I did not know you could become legendary in this game. I know I'm legendary because I'm a player, but all right, anyway. If you want to see more, hit the buttons, or maybe the next button will go take you to the next guide. I'm not really sure. Thank you very much for everything you've done. I appreciate. Hopefully see you on Twitch or here or both, or maybe it'll be nice to leave a comment and tell me if there's something I missed, because I'm trying to make sure I do follow-up guides to these things sometimes and get better and better and better as I become. I've been doing this 10 years full time, so I want to be as best I can be and give the right kind of information. I know I talk long, I'm very verbose, and some people want 3 seconds of information to move on. That's fine. If you made it this far, though, you're one of the few that's pretty awesome, and I like it. Thank you so much for being so kind. Yeah, I'm 45 years old, but I mean, I do what I can in a land of people that are half my age. I'm trying my best. All right, I'll see you in the next video. If I haven't said it, I think I have to string this together some other way, so maybe there's some more, maybe there's not. Let's go.